Hey, James, welcome to eXp Chats. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. How you doing?
I'm really well on this fine day.
It looks beautiful up there.
Sunshine Coast. It's kind of a bit like that, actually, in the background there. It's a really hot day, 33 or 34 degrees today, apparently. So
Right.
turn the aircon on and stay indoors, I say. But how are you, mate? And whereabouts are you located?
I'm very good, mate. Although I look like I'm in Queensland today with this very colourful shirt, mate, I am not in Queensland. I'm in Port Lincoln, South Australia, which is about 700 kilometres west of Adelaide if you're driving. Takes a lot less to fly there, but smallish town, mate, population of 15,000 people, roughly. And we're just at our regional centre, and then there's a couple of smaller towns up the coast, about 40 minutes in each direction as well. So, yeah, pretty isolated from the rest of the world, which is good.
So about a population of 15,000, you say?
Correct, yeah. So we're about in 5606 in Port Lincoln, which is my core suburb or core area that I sort of sell in. There's about 7,500 properties here. So, yeah.
Okay, it must make it challenging. I mean, is there a lot of competition there, agents-wise? Is there a fairly heavy market?
There is, mate. There is a lot of competition. There's about 18 agents. So there's a lot per capita, naturally. It's a competitive game here. And it's very much like there's been three dominant agencies forever. And that's changing now, which is great, with the new evolution of agents coming through. But those guys have been in the game for a very, very long time. So, yeah, it's very competitive.
Yeah, cool. So what's your backstory, James? How long have you been doing real estate for, and how long have you been with eXp?
I've been selling real estate in Port Lincoln for a decade. So I started in real estate in Port Lincoln. And I was with we'll call it the market leading agency here in Port Lincoln for 8.5 years. And I've been, pretty much selling with eXp now. Well, not quite 18 months, but coming up 18 months. I started in January 22 with eXp. And haven't looked back since. It's been an amazing change.
Yeah, wow. Okay, I want to hear that story, and I'm sure everyone listening does as well. So 8.5 years with the leading agency in the area at the time. What was the catalyst that made you go, I'm going to look somewhere else? Or did someone come to you about eXp?
It was a combination of both, actually. I want to bore you with my story, but it was it was during COVID, and working from home was very clunky. No one really the agency didn't really have the technology to do it. And because we were forced to work, I can't remember the actual, but it was a local server, and trying to log in and whatnot was really difficult. And I sort of said, there's got to be a better way for this. And that there was no forward thinking there, or no progression there with the company still. So it came to the end of that year, which would have been 2021, start of 21. I was almost looking to start my own brand, do my own thing. At the time, I was carrying about 45 properties, which is a big lot of properties. And I thought, I'm walking away from a lot here that I've worked hard to sort of get. I was selling, 8 properties a month type thing, roughly. So I was moving a lot of properties, which is really hard to walk away from that sort of income and just start fresh again. Then it got to the point where I just wasn't feeling appreciated. And I was pulling some pretty big numbers, and it actually dawned on me. I wrote 120 grand or something in November 21, and I didn't even get like a well done or congratulations from the principal or nothing. I got nothing. Of course, I got paid, but there was nothing. There was no appreciation for it, and I was like, and I literally resigned on the 6th of December, so 6 days later, and that's what it came about. But eXp had knocked on my door about a month or 2 months prior to that. Bjorn Kunzel had actually referred me. Bjorn Kunzel from Adelaide, South Australia, had referred me a sale, and had talked to me about eXp, but hadn't forced eXp down on me, wasn't trying to sign me up or anything. And then I sort of reached back out to him and said, tell me about eXp. I've done some research. And like, we sort of caught up, and he then went through my numbers with me. And I was like, mate, this is a no-brainer. Like, sign me up. How do I start? Like, where do I sign? So I think it was a 15-minute Zoom call that basically got me to sign. But there was a bit of a lead up story to that, obviously, with me wanting to sort of finish up for probably 12 months anyway prior to. So, yeah,
Yeah, you already had the wheels in motion, as they say.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
But the EXP model, I was the same. Yeah, a bit of a no-brainer. So what about the model really excited you before you joined?
Well, here, as I mentioned before, like because there's three dominant agencies here, and there's one in particular that I was at, obviously, that always carried over 50 to 60% market share. And to me, I saw that as an opportunity. Like someone that's carrying that much market share is a sitting duck, in my opinion. Like there's a lot of things that can come in, and people were really looking for an alternative. Unfortunately for the other companies, the alternatives weren't all that great, but they weren't great performers. A lot of the performers were with that big agency. So
Yep.
I saw that as an opportunity to go out on my own and become that alternative to that company. And that's exactly what's happened. So I've chewed through. I think I'm sitting at about 16-17% market share now as a sole agent in Port Lincoln. And I'm sitting higher than I think 5 of the other agencies that have multiple agents working for them as well. So yeah, which is great. I'm now the alternative. I've now signed up another guy here in Port Lincoln with eXp as well. He's going to help me choose for a bit more market share.
Yeah, so, good on you.
Yeah, but as far as like why I joined, I mean, as I said, Bjorn went through the numbers with me, mate, and yeah, it was a no-brainer. Like,
what was it? The com split? Was it the shares? Was it the rev share?
It just like the rev share itself isn't a big deal for me. Like I'm not really myself, because I am so isolated away from a lot of other agents. It's really hard for me to grow a big team or a team around me. But the actual com split, mate, to me was a bit that was a no-brainer. I was like, you're telling me it's going to cost me essentially 25 grand a year to run a business, of which I've got an opportunity to earn back 21 grand in shares each year. So essentially, I'm running a business. I'm getting full admin support, whether I sell, 30 properties or 130 properties, that cost remains the same to me. So whether, the girls do the contracts, whether they're doing 30 contracts or 130 contracts, the cost to me doesn't change.
Yeah.
So, if they have to put in a full-time staffer just to deal with my stuff, mate, it's a no-brainer. Like it's just, you just can't beat the business model.
That's a good way to look at it. So for running your real estate business, totally independent, totally yourself, with all the freedoms that come with that, plus the support that eXp offers, 25 grand a year, that's what it comes down to, with the opportunity to actually earn 21,000 back in company shares.
Right. Yeah.
And create ownership in the to be one of the world's largest real estate companies.
Correct. Yeah. And that. Yeah, just to run a business, but that opportunity to build, and it's not a hard thing if you're a transactional agent. Capping, which is obviously hitting 100 grand GCI, and then selling 20 more properties after that isn't a hard thing to do. It's roughly 30 sales for me, and year in year out, I should hit that. So I've definitely got the opportunity to, cap and icon every year and get those company shares gifted to me essentially. So
yeah. So then yeah. Business costs are really, 5 grand a year, something like that. Right, next to nothing.
Yeah. It is a game changer. Yeah.
Absolutely. So when you joined the company, because I had a certain feeling as well. I mean, I saw the numbers and crunched the numbers and said, nothing competes. I got offers by Remax and other companies, and I just thought, even with they were trying to get me in with their really attractive offers, eXp still with their basic model offered far more.
Correct. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the numbers were good. Then I joined, and then there was a different sort of feeling as well. What was that feeling like to you? I mean, once you've joined and now looking at eXp, how would you describe it?
It's a lot different to what I thought it would be. Like although you sort of go out as an individual, there's still a lot of team support as well. Like I know each state's different, and in South Australia, we've got a really strong team. And we will run as this side. eXp Realty, a lot of us do, and we like I can run as whatever I want, but I've chosen to stay as the eXp branding. A couple of reasons I see power in numbers with that as well. I think that the branding is quite good here in SA as well. But you sort of go it alone. I felt in that first month and a half after transacting, 10, 12, 13 properties a month towards the end of my time at my previous agency, when you're dealing with that many sales and you go from that to absolutely just trying to prospect again, you feel like you're doing not a lot. And I felt like I was spinning my wheels a lot. But once those wheels got in motion again and the sales started rolling through, I started in January. I capped in June. So it took me 6 months to write 100 grand, and I was writing almost 100 grand a month before. So I did spin my wheels for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I iconed by October. So in the next 2 months, 3 months, so I wrote another 250 grand. So once those wheels were in motion, it was just, the money started rolling through. And of course, when you're earning 100% of it, instead of giving 50% away, it makes a significant difference as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say to someone listening to you now? I mean, the draw cards for eXp, or what advice would you give?
Mate, for me, you've just got to make the change. Like I know a lot of agents think about making the change, and like me, I didn't, because I was on a good wicket, and my accountant was probably saying to me, like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you're earning really good money. You know, these are the options. Like, you know, you sure? But if you don't take the risk, you're not going to reap the reward. And I look back at some of my numbers last night, and I mean, I was earning great money. But I was selling, 12 homes, 10 homes a month, busting my chops, like working my ass off, and taking home it was coming out of the wash about 50 grand. Take the tax off that, and you're earning sort of 25 grand a month, you know what I mean? Which is good money. Now I sell half the amount of homes. Well, I don't sell I can sell half the amount of homes and make the same amount of money as I was making before. So to me, it's a lifestyle choice as well. I'm now working from home. We've had a newborn baby this year. I've got 2 other girls as well. I've spent a lot more time with the baby this year. And I've doubled my income. I've spent more time with my family. I've doubled my income. And I'm a much happier person. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane. Like, I just can't describe it. So
what more could you want? Yeah, and it's hard to relay that to people, but conversations like this certainly do help, James. So I appreciate you coming on the call.
No, all good, mate. No problem at all.
Where can people reach you if they want to reach out and say good day and pitch up?
Just give us a call. The mobile is the best. Just 0427 430 005. Just drop me a line. Otherwise, you can follow me. I'm James Stacy, eXp Realty on Facebook, and you'll be able to see my profile there as well.
Cool, brother. Thanks for coming on today.
All right.
James
Thanks
Stacy.
so much.
Cheers, eh?
Thanks, mate. Have a good day.